Hawkins' mansion. Pierce woke up in an asylum installed in the cellars of the Riverside Institute. He met Dr. Colden, a female friend of Bradley, who helped him to escape. Wandering through the corridors of this place where Dr. Fuller reigned supreme, Pierce was able to talk to a man called Francis Sanders. Before dying in full view of the detective, he accused Sarah Hawkins of being the cause of his torments. Pierce finally left the accursed building, accompanied by Bradley and Colden. The companions in misfortune decide to use the Hawkins mansion as a hideout.
Who goes there?
Ooh.
A nightmare again. I need a drink.
You always need a drink. Macabre discovery. Searching through the cellars of the Riverside Institute, Pierce entered a room that he first took for a morgue. But the advanced state of the decay of the corpses that lay about the place quickly made him realize that he was wrong. Nothing could justify the presence of such a carnal house in a hospital. The purid smell and the total absence of respect for human life, as witnessed by this room, profoundly shook Pierce, costing him some of his sanity. Oh my god, we are losing our sanity here. Shaken. The ordeals you have gone through have left their mark, but you still manage as best you can. You keep your mind busy in order to chase away doubts and painful memories. You still have some way to go. Who knows where your mind could lead you along the paths of insanity. Oh my gosh. The death of Francis Sanders. The weirdness of Francis Sandler's death went far beyond anything Pierce had ever seen. Lifted off his feet by an invisible force, the poor man's body was carried into the air before being thrown violently against the bars of his hiding place. Pierce, powerless, watched the limbs break and Sandler's body crumble to the ground. During long moments of agony, the detective saw nothing that could explain this event. And by his wounds and the operation he could remember undergoing, Pierce begins to question his ability to tell the difference between reality and the nightmares that haunts him. Nice. Dark water. Francis Sanders knew Sarah Hawkins so well that he accused her of being the source of his suffering. The man gouged his eyes out with his own hands and smeared the walls of his cell with historic symbols. He seemed to be obsessed with a shambler linked to Sarah Hawkins. He died before my eyes in circumstances that I cannot explain. Cellars of the Riverside Institute. Strictly speaking, I didn't spend much time in the hospital. When I woke up, I was immediately transferred into the cellars of the Institute, a sort of clandestine asylum where Dr. Fuller carried out his experiments on patients without being troubled. Unknown machines sit beside anatomical drawings that are disturbing, to say the least. I just managed to escape from this place. I might not have as much luck another time. Yes. Yes, we are on the mansion again. Wait. Yes, King Cinnamon, it's pretty good. Getting some scrolls for your hard work.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Did I sleep long?
The day's only starting. It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
I heard you talking earlier.
Why am I not surprised?
I get the impression you two don't get along.
Intrusive and not very clever. Anyway, let's get back to the business at hand.
What I'm sure of now is that the Hawkins case isn't just an accident.
And what brings you to that conclusion?
The fact that Charles Hawkins survived the fire.
I don't understand. Mr. Hawkins was buried.
That's what he would have you believe.
I have a hard time believing you.
You were there, Bradley. You even opened fire on him.
I'd remember that.
Why would he fake his own death? Do you think he covered up his wife's murder?
That's possible.
Seems hard to swallow. Don't you have anything more concrete, Pierce?
Bradley, what do you remember?
I don't understand your question.
The night we went into the Hawkins mansion. You don't seem to remember the tunnels and what occurred there.
No memory of going down any tunnel. No, we were in the manor, then,
Then what?
The rest is quite blurry. I don't recall how I came back home.
Ooh, scary.
I went to visit you at the hospital, and called on Marie's help to get you released.
And you don't remember the events of the tunnel?
I don't. Let's talk about something else.
Given the energy he pours into Riverside, I presume it was Fuller's creation.
His father's, to be correct. He was a surgeon on board the Scylla. He founded the hospital in 1904 with funds from the Hawkins family before he died.
It's time to
and his
place the
son
second
Thomas
unit
took over.
of you.
Two families inextricably linked.
Most island
You should be
families
able to
are that way.
place the next one now.
Captain Fitzroy's father was also a seaman aboard the Scylla.
Powerful families dominating everything.
Yes, and as you could tell, Dr. Fuller is like some crazed emperor.
He wouldn't be happy if he knew we were snooping around.
I know the risks. I don't fear him. Do you wish to know anything else?
Dr. Fuller seems to be leaving a trail of corpses. Not to mention those strange machines, chains, and tools of all kind.
Yes. I've been telling you that Fuller uses his patients as guinea pigs.
What I saw was more akin to torture than medicine.
Do you even hear what you're saying? Dr. Fuller is highly respected.
It's the truth, Ethan. And I'll prove it to you. I'm listening, Mr. Pierce.
I found a file bearing Sarah Hawkins' name in the Institute's basement.
Yeah, at least we've done a lot of research.
A powerful family like the Hawkins had the means to hide such a disgrace.
But everyone knows the Fullers have been taking care of the Hawkins for at least a generation. And all were aware of Mrs. Hawkins' fragility.
Perhaps, but no one would allow Patrick internment.
From what I read in the file, Fuller used her as a subject of his experiments.
Francis Sanders.
I wish I
and
had a
Sarah
pillow
Hawkins
to rest my
were
arms
subjects of
on.
Dr. Fuller. Why those two?
I have flashbacks. They haunt me.
What did they do to you?
There was that Dr. Fuller and a nurse. Blood everywhere. My legs, the pain, I couldn't bear it. I was screaming. They injected me with something. I woke up at the Institute. Bradley was there.
And how you scared us. You seemed demented.
You likely woke up during the anesthesia. No wonder those memories haunt you. What in God's name were they doing to you?
What happened afterwards?
When I woke up the second time, I was in a padded cell. That's where you found me, Doctor. After you released me, I got a good look at what's in store for the patients of the Riverside Institute. Hallucinogenic gas pumped into the cells. An infernal machine. Horrific medical experiments.
Impossible. Dr. Fuller would never do such a thing.
You should believe it, Ethan. What Mr. Pierce saw is precisely what I've been trying to prove. Did you discover anything else?
Oh my, oh my. Let's see.
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there, with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was
Very
Sarah Hawkins'
dramatic.
visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
An art collector, you say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
You're right. Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
This will
Very
affect
well.
my destiny, oh my
I'll go to
god.
see Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Let's have a look. The Fuller reigns as the undisputed master of the Riverside Institute and its cellars, in which he carries out illegal experiments on its patients. I don't know what he has done to me, but I shouldn't be back on my feet so soon after my fall when the tunnels under the Hawkins mansion caved in. This man is dangerous, and I'd swear that he knows more about all this business than he's willing to tell. Okay.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Okay. Sanders' residence. Pierce, Colden, and Bradley decided to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow. Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter, who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to speak to his widow about the shambler that the unfortunate man mentioned right before he died.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins.
However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, look who's here.
Dang.
Know each other. Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my
Oh, the
business.
poor kitten.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's
A
small
lore
island,
recap.
Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker.
This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable.
It would seem that you have much to tell me. You had the opportunity to talk to my husband.
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You,
Loki
on the other hand,
opening
a
the
perfect
V.
stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
Hmm. Hmm.
I expected to find you more grief-stricken than this by the death of your
I
husband.
am not opening
I do not
Biggie,
like the tone of your illusion, sir. I had long
but I can't
months to
open the
weep every tear
in-game
in my body,
menu
and to accept,
during a
if not my
conversation.
fate, at least that of my husband. And so I'm sorry to disappoint you if you're expecting more hysteria and grieving widow in my voice. Rest assured, however, my anger is real. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes? Did you not do anything to help him?
Hmm.
Mrs. Sanders, I understand your grief, and I extend my deepest condolences to you. But I had nothing to do with the death of your husband. I've just arrived on Darkwater. I'm investigating the death of the Hawkins family.
The death of the Hawkins family? You mean it was not an accident? This accursed island knows only tragedy after tragedy. You too would be advised to flee it like the plague. Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Hmm. Hmm.
May I ask you what Miss Baker is doing here? How do you know her?
My business with Miss Baker is private, Mr. Pierce.
But you do know what kind of business Miss Baker is in, don't you?
I am no fool.
Hmm.
Please believe that much, at least.
How did you come to meet Sarah Hawkins?
We were the wealthiest and most influential families on Darkwater. Of course we would know each other. And when Charles returned from Europe with his sweet little artist, she and his sinister paintings were destined to catch my husband's eye. He bought many of her works over the last 5 years. They adorn his macabre gallery.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can't imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Okay. Thank you, Bound.
Did she really care for him after all?
Dear Madam, I acknowledge receipt of the letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I am sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return his body to you. At the moment his internment, you signed a discharge allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. I extend the deepest condolences to you. Thomas Fuller.
Chandler came into the Sanders' lives.
A photo of Sarah Hawkins next to Sanders. They must be close.
A house of artists. A house of artists. Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close.
Hmm.
Friends, even? Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, want to sell the painting. He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated. Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
Hmm. Ooh, you must not look at it. Too bad we're
The
cursed too now.
I need to see it.
At the Sanders, cross-checking the information given by Francis Sanders and his widow, it's possible to reconstruct the events that led to the internment of Sanders. Everything points to Sanders and Sarah Hawkins being close, linked at least by the interest to the collector showed in the artist's work, but more probably by a certain friendship, attested by the repeated refusal of Sarah Hawkins to sell the painting called Shambler. Against all expectations, she finally gave it away for free. The feelings still shown by Irene Sanders towards Sarah Hawkins are evidently derived from what she considers to be the artist's responsibility. Madness struck Sanders a short while after he gained possession of the painting. The second volume in the series covers everything from gas gangrene to trench nephlis. In addition to precise and detailed study, the book represents some avant-garde theories. The incredible complexity of this book reserves it for medical experts. Locked. Why do people have locked doors in
Let's
their
see
houses?
what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Audio recording that Francis left his wife Irene. Yeah, let's go all the way. Oh no, this is the gallery. Let's do that last. Maybe. Everything is closed.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
An ancient amulet, probably Amerindian. I wonder what the purpose would be.
An old diary.
This volume spends some time on Reverend Wykewood's community. His wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend's congregations are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of the community, her husband included, begin to speak of their vision as a messenger sent by God. She is scared that they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe. Are we talking Roanoke now? Key to the Sandlers. Should probably have talked to her first. Would you read the book? Malleus Bestiarium Volume 2. It's kind of an encyclopedia of monsters and unknown creatures. It's been believed that they exist. Sanity. Oh no, I lost more sanity. Malleus Bestiarium. Pierce read an ancient treatise, the Malleus Bestiarium. This bestiary makes an inventory of numerous creatures from the occult world or parallel dimensions. The very nature of its knowledge makes it an unholy book. By reading it, Pierce lost some of his sanity. Am I not supposed to lose my sanity? Dimensional Shambler. The Dimensional Shambler comes from a dark and inhospitable dimension, where the rarity of food sources keeps it in a state of permanent starvation. This is why it is in a constant state of readiness to travel to other dimensions in order to feed on its inhabitants. Make sure you never weaken the veil of your dimension, otherwise you risk attracting this very dangerous creature. Should this happen, you just have to lay your eyes upon it for its being to anchor itself into your dimension and to allow it to rip you open with its claws. Extract taken from the Malleus Bestiarium by Abigail G. Malleus Bestiarium. Men will gather the knowledge through the lines dictated to me by the great old ones, but also in other volumes. The visions that assail me whisper me names and silhouettes of mystical creatures. Soon the Malleus Monstrum, repository of all anatomical, cosmic, and dimensional knowledge, will be seen as the authoritative work. This book, unholy among the most cursed books, will one day be the final rampant between man and the predators that are waiting to devour him, hidden behind the veils of parallel dimensions. Extract taken from the Malleus Bestiarium by Abigail G. Okay, inventory. We got the key to Sanders. Key to Sanders' own gallery. Francis Sanders must possess quite a collection of art to have himself his own gallery. And a recording.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Hmm.
One connected to the
Epic
horrors
manga,
I've
thank you for the
discovered on
epic
this
tank.
island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
And you? What brings you to the Sanders home?
I'm here on business. Irene asked me to liquidate all these paintings. She doesn't intend to hang around here for long.
Why you?
Believe it or not, there aren't many collectors on Darkwater. It needs someone with a network and a means of transport to the mainland. A choice that comes down to Fitzroy and me. And I'm far more pleasant, wouldn't you say?
But I wanna...
Not now, sweetheart.
Aww.
I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
I wanted to talk more to her. I should have used the other options. Why do I need to hide?
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. The public entrance to the gallery. Why was he so interested in old weapons?
Sermon, thank you for the epic bone archer. I appreciate it.
The man transforms an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Oh, I guess there is nothing but to examine the painting. And now I will go mad too. So I must not look at it. But of course I will look. Okay.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Is it... Scream incoherently if you require a hint? Oh. I assume I guess I can't... I guess I can't just attack it. I have to stab something else? Wow.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, shut up, Edward. Nobody cares. Holy fuck, how? That's not where it saw me.
That... This dagger looks different.
It's a shambler. Am I like supposed to stab the painting? Nice. You care for Edward. Nice.
What's the matter with you? You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
It's nothing. I think I just drank too much.
That goes without saying. If you can't tell the difference between reality and fiction, then you're in real trouble.
I ran, screamed, broke a pane of glass. You were in the next room and you didn't hear a thing.
If I hadn't heard a thing, I'd still be in the other room. The door was blocked. I got in as soon as I could. I like to look after my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I still got things to settle with Irene.